You're coming out. I know sometimes it feels like things are not going quite your way, and you're thinking that I've been under this rock, this situation for so long, and nothing is going to get better. But I'm here to tell you this morning, I'm going to show you just how easy it is for us to forget our blessings and to really embrace our brokenness, embrace it, acknowledge it, and see where God has placed you for a plan for your life. You're coming out. I'm sure somebody dropped you as a child. I'm sure that somebody dropped the ball for you as a child. I'm sure that something happened that crippled you like it crippled Mephibosheth. And he was an innocent child. In fact, he was a prince. He was he could have been next in line to be king of Israel, but for the conduct of his family. Let me tell you, a lot of our situations, hear me, and I'm going to be clear, have been set in stone years ago, and we are following in footsteps of the others. But it doesn't have to mean that their failures of what they done is going to be the end all and be all with your life. It's whether or not you're going to hold on to the Lord Jesus Christ. And Mephibosheth, a prince, finds himself dropped, and she dropped this child from such a height as to break his legs and to cripple him. And we know that during those times there was no X-rays; they didn't understand to set bones. So this child had to heal. There was no anesthesia. This child at 5 years old had to heal. His legs had to heal. The broken bones had to heal on their own with whatever medicine they could have. But yet it's still a blessing because often these legs had to be amputated. That was the medical care at the time. Saw them off, but the Lord preserved his legs. Let me tell you, you might be hurt, but the Lord preserved the broken pieces. Why? These are the things that he's going to use. Yes, you may have gone through years of pain like Mephibosheth did, so that when this boy was growing up, he couldn't run with the other kids. He was a boy. He couldn't walk well. He walked at one time, I'm sure, but he couldn't walk anymore. That means he had to be carried, or he had to drag himself along. There was no scooters, there was no wheelchairs. He had to get by as best he could, and there he was, no parents, and he found himself living with the servants of Saul. And one of the servants took over the young boy's land, probably gradually because the young boy can't do it, and he would manage it, and he began to usurp it. He's just a human being. But in Mephibosheth's situation, you see, Mephibosheth's situation parallels that of Job, but I think Mephibosheth excelled him. As small as his part in the Bible is, I think he's shown bright because when it was time for Mephibosheth to step up, he stepped up with a beautiful character. You see, you don't have to worry about what has gone wrong in your life. Sometimes you just need to wait on the Lord, because when the time came, when the time was full, the king called for Mephibosheth. You see, just like the acts of our parents can put us into tight constraints, the act of our parents can also bless us. So if you're going through, your parents did some good for you also because of the goodness of Jonathan, the character of Jonathan. David remembered that there was a descendant of Saul, asked for a descendant of Saul, and he blessed this child. And when Mephibosheth came, because he was also afraid that David might kill him, because it was a practice that when you're king, you assassinate the descendants of the past king. There may be situations that you think you deserve to have the ultimate condemnation. Hear me. There might be situations going in your life, and you know that you are guilty of. Yes, you are. There may be situations where you have done it wrong. Yes, it's happening. There might be curses upon your life traveling down through your family. Now it's rested upon you. Yes, there is. But if you approach the Lord, and the Lord's going to call you, the Lord's calling you this morning, this afternoon, tonight, over your situation, all you have to do is answer. He didn't answer and say it wasn't me. He came to the king. He came to David, and he bowed down, and he says, "Here I am, your servant." Will you say the same to your Lord in your brokenness? He came with his broken legs. He came with his crippled self, but he came, and he appeared at the call of the king. He didn't run from the situation. Don't you run from your situation today. Though it may be hard on you circumstantially, though you know nothing but brokenness, though you know that you're that your father and your grandfather were killed because of disobedience to God. You know that you're living in a family of shame today and nothing has ever happened. Nobody in your family ever did right. But let it be so, because your brokenness, the same situation that caused you to be in this brokenness, shall be that which will deliver you. That's why I say you are coming out. Why was this man delivered? This man was delivered because despite his brokenness, he never let them break his will. He never let them make him bitter. He never let them. He never let them have him in a situation where he's seeking revenge. He remained true to his character. You're gonna come out. To come out, you have to remain true to your good character, to your good side. We can all cuss and spit venom. We're all capable of that. We're human beings. But it takes a great woman of God, a great man of God with great character to understand just how far he is away. And when he was called, he was able to give the right answer. Where Mephibosheth lived was called Lodabar. And Lodabar was a ghetto. You see, he came from the palace to the ghetto, yet he still was a good man. He still had his pride and his dignity. You're going to come out because of integrity. You're going to come out because of pride and whatever God has given you. You're going to be satisfied with your situation, because if you can be faithful over a little, you can be faithful over a lot. And Lodabar was a town within Gilead. They say there's a bomb in Gilead. Funny how you can be in a place of blessing, where of plenty, where everyone wants to be when they have a difficulty, yet still live in a ghetto. Y'all hear me? I know what I'm talking about. You can still be there in a land of unmet needs. And you can still be in a situation where people who are intended to help you are robbing you blind. They may not be robbing you monetarily. They may be robbing your energy. They may be taking from you your spiritual strength. They may be putting you down in such a way. But I tell you, you look to the hills from where cometh your help. And that's what Mephibosheth did. And Mephibosheth, because of his devotion, because of his character, and he could answer the Lord properly, the Lord will call you. But when you answer him properly, he was blessed. Mephibosheth's life represents to me what the 23rd Psalm is all about. How because he understood that the Lord was his shepherd, and he knew he would not want, and he was not wanting for material things. He was just wanting to be a man of character. See, that's the value, a man or woman of character, a man or woman of integrity. And you shall come out of any circumstance if you remain peaceful inside, if you don't let people lower your standards, if you don't get down and dirty with them. See, by Mephibosheth, though he led a life of disaster, continued disaster, robbing, crippling him, he understood that the Lord maketh him to lie down in green pastures. He knew that the Lord would restore his soul, and he knew the Lord would lead him in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. He was not concerned about what he didn't have. He may have had ugliness. He may have been like Jabez. He might have been totally a mess in his life, but he knew that yea, though he walked through the valley of the shadow of death, that he should not fear no evil, because he knew that the Lord is with him, that his rod and the staff comforted him in his time of need. And when the Lord called, when the king called, when the king calls you, he was made to sit at the table of daily. He was adopted by David. He became a child of David. The 23rd commandment, verse 5 said, Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies, and anointeth my head with oil. All he wanted was the comfort. All he wanted was was the blessing. And he knew that surely goodness and mercy shall follow him all the days of his life, and he shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And he did. And what distinguished him even further, even though he hated the king's table, let me tell you, just because you're going to come out, and you will come out. Just because you might be eating at the king's table, it's not it, because they're coming for you still. The same people who was around you, robbing you and treating you bad, they don't want to let you get away. They're the best that ever happened to them. They're going to seek to drag you back down. And what happened? David had the issue with his son and Absalom. There was bitterness because of the Bathsheba situation, and David fled. And when David fled, the servant of Saul, who was robbing Mephibosheth, said, hey, lied, said, Mephibosheth doesn't want to come because he's trying to get the throne back from you. And David responded by giving the servant all of Mephibosheth's land. And when David confronted Mephibosheth, he told him his side, and David was conflicted. So David split the baby in half. He gave half to each person just to make peace because the servant had helped David at that time when he was running from Absalom. But then you see, character matters, people. I don't care who's attacking you right now. Don't let the goodness within you be wasted. You're gonna come out not because of you can fight. It's not by might nor by power, but it's by your spirit that's going to bring you out. If you want to come out today, don't be listen. If they want to take your cloak, this is what Jesus meant. Let them take it. If they want to slap you, let them slap you. Metaphorically, of course. And Mephibosheth didn't care about the land. And he told David, listen, he can have all the land. Just make sure that our relationship is intact. And that moved David. That moves the Lord. He was not concerned about these other things and how he can get what other people had. That was not his issue. Let it not be your issue that you're only concerned with what you can get. Don't you want to be around people who want to be in relationship with you, not because of what they can get, not because a man wants you because of how you look or your shape or what all this other stuff, but he wants you just to be close to you, like Lionel Richie said. He just wanted to have just be your friend. He got joy, he got satisfaction just by being near the king. And if you have this kind of understanding that why do you want a plot of land in a bad place when you can be in the palace? And many of us are satisfied with just a little bit, just stupid stuff and idiocy when there is greater blessing for you. And Mephibosheth understood this. And if you're going to come out, they're going to come for you. And when they come for you, let them keep whatever they want to have. But you make sure that your relationship with the Lord is intact. If you want to come out, and I'm talking about eternally coming out too, you don't want to be thrown in the lake of fire. You don't want to have a life of misery. Mephibosheth had a life of outward ministry, but within he was strong. Within he was able. Within he was more than a conqueror. Within he could take that mountain. And that's what you want to do. That's what you want to be like. You don't want to be a sucker chasing after filthy lucre. The love of money is the root of all evil. And if you want to throw your life away and fight with people over foolishness, you won't come out. But if you understand that there's a call over your life, and the call over your life is to come out. That's your calling. Don't get it twisted. Your call over your life is not to be famous. It's to come out. It's to save yourself. It's to be saying, it's to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. That's the call. Everything else is to help other people, yes. But for you, for your soul, for you and your house, you must serve the Lord. And if you serve the Lord with all your heart, mind, and soul, you're going to come out. And the things that even when you come out, they will attack, but it will be of no good. You're coming out. Hold on to the best part of your character. And I tell you, you're going to begin to see things. You're going to begin to feel things. You're going to begin to understand things. You're going to be okay with being in your situation. Here's the thing. The Syrophoenician woman, she said, Jesus, can I have the crumbs of your table? She was not concerned about her dignity or anything else. And Jesus called her a dog. Jesus calls you a dog. He said, you're a dog. We dogs get the crumbs. I'm not giving you this. This is for the children. And she said, okay, but even the dogs can feed. And Jesus was marveled at her faith. She was not concerned about some people want the whole loaf. She was not concerned about that. She didn't care if she was a dog in the kingdom. She just wanted to be in the kingdom. And he blessed her. Don't be a fool. So what? Your legs are broken. So what? Things have gone wrong. So what? You're broken. So what? You failed at everything you did. So what? You lost it all. So what? It's been a problem in your family since the crack of dawn. No good. Terrible. Bad name. So what? But you have today. And if today you say to the Lord, Lord, I confess you as my Lord and Savior. And I confess my sins. And I declare that you are the Lord. And that you rose again from the dead. You shall be saved. Call on the name of the Lord. His name is a strong tower. The righteous rest in and they are saved. And your calling is to be saved. And to be saved is your coming out. And you're coming out.